The whole Georgia bill thing, the corporation speaking out against it, was an opportunity for Republicans to really take a long, hard look at what cancel culture is and what political speech they think is acceptable. Supposedly it was all of it. They're steamrolling right past that with Mitch McConnell saying parts of the private sector keep dabbling and behaving like a woke parallel government. Corporations will invite serious consequences if they become a vehicle for far-left mobs to hijack our country from outside the constitutional order. First of all, Mitch McConnell, literally never use the term woke, please. That goes for most people, but especially you, don't say it. God, I hate how that's been co-opted by the right. Yes, they're a parallel government and they're hijacking our country from outside the constitutional order. That's been happening recently and it's Coke that's doing it. It's not mobs of screaming people with helmets with horns pooping on the floor of the House. It's none of that. It's not sending slates of alternate electors. It's not dozens and dozens of Republican senators and Congress people voting to overturn an election. Nope, it's Coke. So there's that. Ben Shapiro, intellectual gladiator, is moving right past the obvious hypocrisy here, saying, I'm not a fan of boycotts at all, but there is only one thing worse than threatening to use political nuclear weapons, unilaterally disarming while the other side uses with political nuclear weapons. It's either mutually assured destruction or defeat. Pick. So, like Delta putting out a statement saying, hey, stop suppressing people is a nuclear weapon. By the way, Jason Campbell points out on Twitter that back in 2019, he said, it's better for the country if people don't boycott businesses that donate to Nazi organizations. So sometimes boycotts are okay, sometimes not. It really depends. Nazis, not so bad. Coke, anyway. We have a little bit more, but I wanna give you a chance, Francesca. What do you think of them?
I do not know what Ben Shapiro is talking about. I literally, someone needs to.
Nuclear weapons?
Yeah, there needs to be like a translator, like a Google Translate, but for like far right talking points that I don't understand. And just spit out and be like, I hate people of color. Like that's all it is. And yeah, back to you saying woke and people saying woke. Just again, put that into the translator and it comes out as black people. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. So every time you hear that, just hear like black people who want civil rights, to vote, to not be shot dead, to like own a home, those kinds of things. But yeah, I think the boycott question is a really interesting one. I mean, it is, Ilhan Omar has said that it has been effective in the past. And despite Stacey Abrams saying that she prefers that companies would not boycott, because remember, Delta and Coke have not boycotted the state, but MLB and some Hollywood directors are. But Ilhan Omar is saying, look, it's been successful in the past. And in fact, in this country, looking at Jim Crow South, like that was the civil rights movement, was boycotting companies, right? It was walking to work instead of taking a bus where you had to sit in the back. That's the bread and butter of so much of these movements. And so while I'm torn because I hate the idea that, that workers, not all of whom are Republican, of course, nor do I think people should be punished just because they are gonna lose out on work. I'm also like, you have to stick it to these Republicans who've made their state, for better or worse, trying to be so cozy with business. I mean, they've got tax breaks for businesses, which I'm not necessarily in agreement with, but I don't know. I do think corporations should they always wield their power for bad. They always are like, who can give me a better tax break? Where can I go? So why not sometimes wield that for good to show that there will be consequences for your crap politics?
Totally. Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable, the idea that like businesses could lose out on business that they might have been expecting for a while, especially coming after the pandemic. I hate it. I don't know. People are desperate. Like we finally had an election that was like somewhat reflective of maybe this is what like the actual demographic and political breakdown of the state would produce in terms of representation. And then they immediately threw it in the garbage. And we might not have it again for decades, even with the great work of activist groups and all of that. So yeah, people are gonna try a lot of different tactics.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.